Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are reaching for more, strengthening the body, focusing mostly on shoulders and core. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up today coming into a kneeling frame. Middle of the mat is a good place to be. I'm going to give you a back view of the body, but you're going to be facing the front end of your mat. Find a comfortable tall kneel with your shoulders and your hips stacked one on top of the other. Arms start relaxed at your side. Then you're going to float one arm overhead and the other arm behind your back, and you're going to reach across the midline with both arms, and then you're going to start to find an alternating pattern. You can think of this as let's call it a revolving swastika-like movement. You're reaching across the midline with the opposite. You can think opposite hand to shoulder, opposite hand to hip. Targeting those shoulders right from the get-go. Keep your nice tall kneel with a small 12 o'clock tilt through the pelvis so that you are engaging the abs and lengthening the lower back. Last one. Relax the arms to the tops of your thighs and give me a long reaching lean behind and back. Keeping that long reaching line from the kneecap almost all the way to your breast line. We're going to hold the next lean. Lead your way back to a tall kneel and then drop down into a 4-point kneeling position on the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to cat-cow. You're going to inhale to give me a hollow back, taking chin and bum bones to sky. And then you're going to exhale to round out in cat, nodding chin to chest. Start to find a controlled rhythm, looking for your belly center. So find the contraction in your belly as you round out into the cat, and then release the contraction and stretch the belly as you find the cow. Press away softly through the palms so that you're keeping the space between the two shoulders open and working the shoulders at the same time that you play with your belly center. We're going to come to stillness somewhere between the two and find a long reaching tabletop stretch through the neck and the spine. Relax your lower belly as if you wanted to tap the mat with it and then suck it up. And keep rinsing and repeating, relaxing and engaging your lower belly, while keeping that long reaching line through your neck and your spine with your gaze down on the mat between your two thumbs. Keep pressing away from the mat so that you're not dropping and collapsing between the two shoulders. Keep those shoulders engaged throughout. We're going to end in the belly up position. You're going to keep that belly up position and we're going to drop down onto the right elbow. You can use high spined fingertips on the left if you like. We're going to hydrant on the left leg, so you're going to open up the knee to the side of the room and float it back to hovering roughly 10 times. Strong through that right shoulder. And let's change sides. Keep belly to spine throughout. Make your way back to your tall kneel. Stack shoulders, hips, knees one over the other. This time, let's tuck the toes under and then start to find your revolving swastika, reaching past the midline. So you're thinking opposite hand reaching past the shoulder, opposite hand reaching past the hip. Come to stillness. We're going to start with the hands on the tops of the thighs. We're going to lean to float and reach for the fingertips and then back to your start line. Don't float the arms up higher than about shoulder height. Conditioning into the backs of the feet at the same time. We're playing with that long reaching line to the trunk. You're going to hold the next one. Keep reaching through your fingertips. Keep reaching through your crown. Then find your way from here back into a 4-point kneel, relaxing the tops of your feet. We're going to come back to that neutral tabletop line with a long stretch between, or rather long stretch through the neck, through the spine, and we're going to assume a belly up position. We're going to keep our arms straight, so there's no bend through the elbows, but we are going to drop and collapse our weight through the shoulders, and then press back up above and below without bending through the arms. Find your way to neutral, hold, and then let's float one arm up and out to the side, and we'll come to an alternating pattern. So floating the arm up to about shoulder height, and then swimming, reaching, floating back behind us. And we're shooting for just roughly 5 sets. Then come back to your original position, rinsing and repeating that protraction and retraction through the shoulders, either from a flat hand 4-point kneeling position, or you can challenge yourself. You can use fists if you need to, by tucking the toes under, and we're going to do the same from a bear hold. So you're going to press away through the hands, engage the shoulders, and you're going to lift the knees off the mat. Then you're going to keep the arms straight as you protract and retract through the shoulders. Last one. Drop the knees to the floor, release the feet. We're going to float one arm up to shoulder height, swim and reach back, and then rinse and repeat. Keep belly to spine throughout. Let's do one more, and then we'll come back into a hydrant move. So let's drop down on the right arm. You'll find a high spinal fingertip on the left. We're going to hydrant to about hip height, and then we're going to do a small knee pull to the front, and then retrace our path back. So one hydrant with a tiny knee pull to the front, keeping belly to spine throughout. Let's do one more on this side, and then we'll change sides. Take a moment to set up your frame first, and then when you're ready, begin to play. One hydrant and one small knee pull to the front. Find your way from here back to the tall heel. Toes tucked under, or you can relax if you prefer. And you're going to find your reaching, revolving swastika. Then relax your hands to the tops of your thighs. We're going to lean to lift, float to T, and then find your way back to your start line. Lift to T, and then float back. Keep that long reaching stretch through not only the line of the spine and the head, but also through your fingertips. Let's do two more. And then we'll hold the last T reach. Then bleed your way back. Find your way to a 4-point kneeling position. Press away with the hands, engage the shoulders, keep them in that neutral position, so not dropping through or not lifting above. So we're in neutral, shoulders stay engaged. You're going to keep the trunk as stable as you can. So level through the two shoulders, level through the two hips. We're going to slide the right arm out, fingertips connected to the mat, and we're going to slide the left leg out, toes connected to the mat. In unison, we're going to float up to table, so not higher than your shoulders on the arm and not higher than the hip on the leg. We're going to tap to the floor and back. Keep a long reaching spinal line. Keep a long reaching arm and leg line on the two tapping limbs. We're going to end in the tap. We're going to reach across the midline, past the edges of the mat, and we're going to hold, keeping belly to spine. Then find your way back to 4-point kneeling. Stabilize through the shoulders, stabilize through the trunk. Left arm sliding up, right leg sliding back. Find your long reaching tabletop line, and then begin to tap and lift. Keep your gaze down on the mat, just to the side of your grounding thumb. We're going to end in the tap. We're going to slide and reach across the midline and hold that oblique stretch. Swim your way back to 4-point kneeling and drop down onto the right arm. We're coming back into our hydrant. Keeping belly to spine, we're going to open up into the hydrant, and this time we're going to draw the knee back towards the midline and then retrace your path back. Roughly 10 repeats. Once you've done 10 repeats on one side, you're going to change your frame and you're going to set yourself up for the second side and begin to play when you're ready. Find your way from here back to your tall kneel. Feet can be relaxed, or you can tuck the toes under for more work. This time we are going to start with our arms in the T position, but we're going to do palms looking towards the top end of your mat, and you're going to lock that height at about shoulder height. You're going to start in neutral. You're going to lean off the center line, squeeze the two palms together, and then back to your T position. Keep the arms long and reaching, both when you're in T and both when you squeeze in prayer, and keep the line of your spine long and reaching. Give me a good press into those palms so that you can feel the shoulders, so that you can feel the pecs. Let's do 3 more. We're going to end in the prayer press. Hold it. Reach through your fingers, reach through your spine. All right, so from here, we're going to find our way preferably to a plank, but you can also execute from a 4-point kneeling position. We're going to work a modified, let's call it a Superman push-up. So stepping the legs back into plank, you're going to bend the elbows to bring yourself down onto the mat. You're going to lift palms and feet off the floor. Then engage your core and your shoulders and press back up into the plank. Rinse and repeat, shooting for between 5 to 10 repeats. If you find this too strenuous for you, drop to 4-point kneeling. Use the knees for support as you come down, arms and legs coming off, and then use the knees for support as you draw back into a table. Whether you're playing from the 4-point kneeling position or from the plank, keep your core engaged and strong throughout. We're going to end on the belly, and you're going to think of keeping the feet and the hands off the mat for 10. So you're in a small Superman lift with your feet just off the mat and your palms just off the mat. And you've got a tiny chest lift with maybe 3 ribs still connected to the mat. Then relax back down to the mat, but this time I'd like you to give yourself more of a soft, almost cactus-like frame on the mat through the arms, and you're relaxing palms to floor. We're going to find that same little Superman hovering line, and we're going to play with those swastika arms that we were doing from a kneeling frame earlier on. So begin with your legs, your arms, and your forehead connected to the mat. Find an imaginary marble underneath your nose. Start to roll it away and give me a really small chest lift with at least 3 or 4 ribs still on the mat so that your whole face is hovering just over the surface of the mat. Add a teeny tiny leg lift and a teeny tiny arm lift. And begin to play with that little swastika move, keeping your hovering Superman line. If you find the Superman line too challenging, you can keep your body grounded and play with the arms. Last set. From here, you're going to extend the arms out in front. And we are going to start to play. We're going to fashion ourselves a working, let's call it a fusion between a Superman line and a down dog. So you're going to start in an extended Superman line. You're going to give me a small, simultaneous chest, arm, and leg lift. You're going to ground to the mat, sliding the hands back. You're going to think down dog. And then you're going to think a relaxed push-up to come back to the floor. And you're going to find your Superman lift. Slide the hands back. Think down dog. Relax your knees. Soft push-up like movement to come back to your Superman lift. And you're going to shoot for anywhere between 5 to 10 repeats. Starting to look for more fluidity, more control as you play. Let's do one more. We'll end on the belly. And then from here, you're going to flip over onto your back, bending your knees, grounding your feet, as if you were setting yourself up for a bridge line. Arms can be heavy and relaxed at your side, or you can tuck your hands, palms down underneath your bottom, forging a little triangular frame between the index finger and thumb to support the lower lumbar area. Try to have the weight of your shoulders, the weight of the back of your ribs, and the weight of your sacrum pressing and grounding into the mat evenly so that you're not tilting and unconsciously throwing your body weight to one side. We're going to ground left and we're going to play right. You are going to float your right leg to 90. We're going to keep a soft reaching toe line. You're going to find a drop and a cycle. Find the drop range that works for you. So it could be a small drop and cycle, or it could be coming almost just shy of the floor. And you're going to shoot for 10 repeats, keeping the weight of your body pressing equally into the mat. Let's do one more on the right. And then we'll change legs. Check your back line, and when you're ready, start to drop and cycle. Keep thinking about how you're pressing into the mat. Then extend both legs to 90, squeeze them together and give me a small V and squeeze back in. Keep your first V really small and focus on the squeeze back to center. We're going to end in that narrow squeeze and you're going to drop and cycle through both legs together. Try a small drop and cycle with a soft reaching toe. If that wasn't enough work, drop closer to the mat. But make sure that you're keeping the work in your belly and that you're not transferring it to your lower back. Keep your legs and your toes long and reaching. End at the 90 line, wider V this time, and just squeeze back. So you can almost think of your second V as more of a straddle opening through the legs, if you like. We're going to end in that wide drop. If holding the weight of your legs is too much for your abs, you can support with the arms. If you're feeling strong, you're going to give me a small chest lift. You're going to hold the chest lift. You're going to wrap your hands around from the inside. You're going to grasp your legs. You're going to press out and away with your arms. You're going to keep your toes long and reaching. Then find your way back to your bridge-like setup. Arms at your side or hands underneath your bottom. Press the weight of your back equally into the mat and extend the right leg with a soft brace into the foot. We're going to drop with a brace and we're going to cycle back up soft. So drop with a brace, soft as you come back up. Last one. We're going to change legs. Take a moment to think of the weight of your back. When you're ready, drop with a brace, cycle back up with a soft reaching toe. Then bring both legs to 90 and give me a small V pattern, open and squeeze. End in the squeeze, brace into your feet, drop with the brace, cycle back up with a soft foot, using the feet as one unit, or the legs rather as one unit, finding the drop range that works for you, allowing you to keep the work in your core and not transfer it to your back. End of the 90 line, we're going to do a wider straddle opening through the legs and then a tap. Keep a long reaching toe line throughout. You're going to end in a straddle drop. You're going to add a chest lift. You're going to reach around from the inside to hold and press down and away. Keep that long reach through your toes. Then reground to roll onto your side. We're going to bend the bottom leg. We are going to extend the top leg, and we're going to give ourselves a small prop on the bottom arm. We're going to assume a turnout position on the top leg, and you're going to give me a double pulsing kick to the front, and then soft reaching toe as you come back. Double pulse, bracing into your heels, soft reaching toe as you come back. Last one. We're going to come back to the turnout position. This time we are going to do a double kick towards the sky and then soft toe as you come down. Last one. Bend the top knee, brush your hand down the chain of your leg, reach for your ankle or your foot, drop the top knee towards the floor, and then kick the foot away from your bottom and into your hand and hold the stretch into the shoulder, into the arm, into the quad and the hip flexor. Keep the bottom leg bent and then extend the top leg as you release it and place your top hand on the mat, more or less in front of your waistline. Take the arm that's currently holding your head up and drape that softly on the mat and then peel up into a small, let's call it trunk lift. Stagger your arms. You're keeping still from the belly button down and you're going to rotate to look over the front edge of your mat. You can come as high or as low to the mat as you need to. Then look towards your legs. You're going to start to bring the bottom leg out so that the knee and the ankle are lining up in a straighter line. And then you're going to bend the back leg and you're going to tuck the knee like a little Lego puzzle into the curve of the lead leg. You're going to take a moment to wriggle around on the mat and ground through your bum bones, both of them. So try not to lean all of the weight into one bottom. Maybe tuck that back heel nice and close towards your bum. You're going to reach for the ankle of the back foot and we're going to play with the other arm. You're going to start with a long reaching arm and then you're going to arc and reach and tap and reach. And you're going to bring your head to play and moving your chin, moving your head east to west with your chin line parallel to the floor. Then swivel, find your way onto your back. Press the weight of your back equally into the mat. Float your right leg up to the sky. You know where you're going to. We're going to drop and cycle for 10 with a soft reaching toe. One more. Then smooth transition as you find the weight of your back and begin to play on the second side. Then extend both legs, squeeze them together along the midline, and then small V. In together, drop together, cycle together with a soft reaching toe line, picking the drop range that works for you. And with the legs at 90, wider straddle V and a squeeze back. Then reground into your bridge-like setup. Press the weight of your back equally into the mat. You're going to float the right leg up. We are going to drop with a brace into the heel, and we're going to cycle back up with a soft reaching toe. Picking the range, the drop range that works for you. Keep controlling with that weight on your back. Then smooth transition. Find the weight of your back first, and when you're ready, begin to repeat on the second side. Float both legs to 90. Squeeze with a small V. End in the squeeze position. Drop with a soft heel. Cycle back up with a soft reaching toe, using the legs as one unit and finding the drop range that works for you, being cognizant of pressing your weight equally into the mat throughout and keeping the work in the core. Let's do one more and we'll come into our wider straddle V. We're going to end in the straddle line and we're going to add the scoop that we forgot in our previous straddle, but it's okay, it's all good. Then close your straddle line, roll onto your second side, giving yourself a small prop on the bottom arm, bending the bottom leg, extending the top. And we're going to play with a slight turnout position on the top leg, double pulsing kick towards your nose and a soft reaching return. Keeping the turnout position as you kick. Last one, we're going to change. Double kick towards the sky, soft reaching toe as you come down. Last one. You're going to bend the top knee, brush your hand down the chain of your leg, reach for your foot or your ankle, drop the top knee towards the bottom knee, and then kick the foot away from your bottom into your hand. Feel the shoulder, feel the arm, feel the quad, feel the hip flexor. Keep your bottom leg bent, extend the top leg, just drape it onto the mat. Take your top hand, rest it to the floor just in front of your chest line, and then stagger the other arm away from your first hand and look, rotate through the trunk to look towards the back end of your mat. Keeping belly to spine as you find your modified funky side cobra. And then look towards your legs. Start to bring the foot of your bent leg out. And then set up your little mermaid frame on the mat, taking a moment to just wiggle around on your bum bones and find a nice seat on the mat. We are going to play with a long reaching arm line and then an arc and reach. And we're going to move our head along with the arms, so we're moving east to west through the head, and we're keeping the chin line parallel to the floor, alternating between looking to the front of the mat and looking to the back of the mat. Last one. You're going to open up from here into a straddle line. That straddle can be as wide as you're comfortable with. We're going to work with a brace into the foot. We're going to interlace the fingers, invert them, and begin to stir a small pot. At first, the only thing that's moving is the arms. So you're feeling arms, you're feeling shoulders. Then start to make that stir bigger and bring your trunk into play as well, leaning into the stir. Start to become aware of your feet in your periphery, maybe beginning to stir wider and almost trying to reach and stretch past your toes. We're going to try to stretch and reach past the right foot, frame your ears on either side, reach through the heels of your hands. You can even do a hook around the foot, or you can just stay reaching, thinking, looking down towards your thigh. Peel your way back to the center and start to trace a small anti-clockwise circle. At first, just the arms and the shoulders being felt. Then start to engage your trunk into the movement. Start to make that circle systematically bigger. Start to become aware of your toes. Start to reach with the arms, reach with the legs, reach with the spine. Reaching for more. We're going to try to end reaching past the left toes. Maybe you're hooking, maybe you're just staying here, framing your ears and holding. Find your way back to the center and then ease your way into a soft diamond frame. I'm going to give you a back view of the body. So set up your diamond frame and then think of the first movement that we played with on the mat, which was that little, let's call it our reaching swastika, yeah? So we had opposite hand reaching across the midline and we were playing with that revolving swastika. You're going to find one swastika and then you're going to start to bring the two hands closer towards one another and you're going to try to tap the fingertips and hold for a few seconds before you change sides. Keeping your chin relaxed softly towards your chest. Maybe you can end in a grasp. You could use a strap or a belt to help you make that reaching connection. And then once to the second side, finding the fingertips, giving them a good tug. Keeping your chin line soft and relaxed. And then undoing the hands, relaxing the shoulders to drape your palms to your shins and nodding chin to chest to end off our reaching practice for today. Thank you so much for coming out and joining me. Till next time, keep it light.